Discovered, millionaire reveals hidden connection after MAID'S heartwarming date with only $8. In the quaint town of Willow Creek, whispers swirled around the local diner, where the tantalizing scent of pancakes mingled with the joyous chatter of regulars. Lisa, a dedicated single mother in her late 30s, poured every ounce of her energy into her job as a maid in the sprawling homes of the affluent suburbs. Life had never been easy, but she wore her resilience like armor, determined to provide a brighter future for her teenage daughter, Emily, a girl craving her independence yet wrestling with the weight of being invisible. One fateful night, while scrubbing floors in the towering mansion of reclusive millionaire Henry Ashford, Lisa stumbled upon an old, crumpled $8 bill hidden beneath the kitchen island. Her heart raced as she pocketed it, a fleeting rush of hope awakening within. It wasn't much, but it was enough for their favorite treat, a stack of pancake heaven, swimming in sweet syrup. Later, as they sat in the diner, laughter erupted between them, filling the space with warmth and the comforting clinks of cutlery. Lisa watched Emily's face light up, and for a moment, all the stress of the world melted away. They shared memories and dreams, and while the world outside swirled in chaos, their small table became a sanctuary, just two dreamers savoring life's simplicity. But then, the air thickened like dense fog when Henry walked into the diner, his presence undeniable. Dressed impeccably, he exuded an air of nostalgia that seemed to transport him back to simpler times. When Lisa met his gaze, the room held its breath. She could see curiosity spark in his eyes, unaware of her true identity. Their conversation began as two souls simply connecting over common values: hard work, integrity, and the importance of community. As moments flew by, a genuine bond flourished, yet doubt seeped in. Lisa, feeling the pull of societal expectations, questioned if she should share her truth. She felt the familiar pressure of their world's divide, the weight of unspoken judgment edging in as friends and acquaintances began to circle around Henry, their elite needs clamoring for attention. But soon, a crisis threatened the heart of Willow Creek. A beloved local park faced closure. The community's resistance sparked an alliance among its residents, including Henry and his social circle, clashing backgrounds blending into a colorful spectrum of desperation and unity. Lisa watched as neighbors gathered, hope igniting in their shared laughter and determination. As they mobilized to save their cherished space, Lisa felt the stirrings of courage she hadn't known existed in herself. Surrounded by voices calling for justice, she realized that her true worth wasn't tied to wealth but to the love she had for her daughter and her community. Just as she gathered the strength to embrace her voice and stand against the odds, a misunderstanding flickered in the air, threatening everything she held dear. Would their connection withstand the tidal wave of social pressures? Thoughts raced as Lisa contemplated her next move, unsure if their budding friendship could pierce through societal divides. Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system, and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. With uncertainty hanging thick in the air, Lisa encroached upon a decision, the lines between love and acceptance weaving together in a delicate dance. Could she hold on to hope amidst the storm? Would they find strength in their shared humanity, or would the demands of the world unravel everything? As possibility filled the room, the story took a gripping turn, pulling them all closer to the edge of transformation. As the chatter in the diner faded into a soft hum, Lisa stared at Henry, her heart thumping wildly against her chest. He was not just a man across the table, he was a symbol of everything she had longed for: safety, stability, a different life for Emily. But as the truth loomed over her like a storm cloud, she felt the weight of decisions pressing on her, each breath heavy with unsaid words. Lisa, right? Henry's voice cut through her swirling thoughts, grounding her once again. You have a warmth about you. It's refreshing. She smiled weakly, his kind words wrapping around her like a hug. Yet, inside her, an anxious voice whispered, what if he knew the truth? I have to tell you something, she began, her voice barely above a whisper. But fate had other plans. A loud burst of laughter interrupted their moment, drawing her attention to a group of Henry's friends who had just entered, their eyes scanning the room until they landed on him. "Henry! There you are!" a sharp voice exclaimed. "We've been looking for you everywhere. You won't believe who just decided to donate to the park project." Lisa's stomach twisted. It was someone from his world, someone who would never understand her struggles, her life. The contrast felt stark, painful. She watched as Henry was pulled into their laughter, their excitement, leaving her feeling cold and isolated. The group hurriedly surrounded him, confident and animated, their lives seemingly flawless. Lisa could feel the invisible wall rising between her and Henry, each shared smile from him to his friends a reminder that she was still just the maid, the invisible woman in a room filled with the glittering elite. Emily, sensing the shift in her mother's demeanor, reached across the table and squeezed Lisa's hand. "Mom, let us go," she whispered. "We can always grab pancakes another time." But Lisa couldn't leave just yet. She needed to summon the courage to break free from the chokehold of insecurity. The park, the community, everything around her was more than a simple project, it was a fight for identity. She had witnessed transformations in others, so why couldn't she be part of one herself? As the laughter of Henry's friends rang out, she noticed a flicker of hesitation in his demeanor. He caught her eye, and in that brief second, an entire conversation unfolded. Lisa took a deep breath. This might be her moment, a chance to assert her place, to show that they were all part of the same community. "Henry!" Lisa called out, her voice steadying. "Can I talk to you for a moment?" The chatter died down, and all eyes turned toward her. Time seemed to stretch, the weight of their gazes heavy against her. She could feel her heart pounding as she prepared to stand tall against the tide of judgment. "Of course, Lisa. What is it?" He stepped away from his group, concern etched across his face. With Emily's encouraging grip giving her strength, Lisa locked eyes with Henry, ready to reveal the truth of who she was, the mother and the fighter behind the maid's apron. The moment loomed before her like a bright light, dazzling yet daunting. "Henry, I need you to understand." Suddenly, a shout broke through the diner, a voice that could only belong to Mrs. Thompson, the town's longtime gossip. "You didn't mention you were here with the help, Henry." Gasps rippled through the room, and Lisa felt the rush of humiliation wash over her. It was now or never. Could she withstand this storm? Did her connection to Henry mean enough to bring the truth to light? With her heart racing, she locked her gaze on him, ready to take the plunge into vulnerability. Would it all come crashing down, or would his gaze remind her that she was more than the label others placed on her? Just as she opened her mouth to speak again, uncertainty gripped her once more. Was she truly ready for the battle ahead? In that moment, the stakes rose. Would the truth bring them together or tear them apart? With the weight of whispers surrounding them, Lisa was on the brink of a revelation that could change everything. The whispers echoed around the diner like waves crashing against rocks. Lisa's face burned hot as she felt the weight of the room's scrutiny heavy on her chest. Mrs. Thompson's voice rang in her ears, cruel and mocking. It was one thing for her to face Henry's friends, but it was an entirely different battle to confront the glaring spotlight of judgment. Henry's expression shifted, a mix of surprise and concern. "I didn't," he started, his brows furrowing, but Lisa barely registered his words. "I'm not the help," she heard herself say, her voice trembling but loud enough to slice through the tension. "I'm just a mother trying to make a life for my daughter." The room fell silent. Time stretched painfully as she held her breath, waiting for Henry to respond. His friends looked between him and her, confusion etched on their faces. Then, Henry stepped closer, concern radiating from him. "Lisa," his voice was soft, a contrast to the sharpness of the moment, and it sent a surge of strength through her. "You don't need to explain yourself," he said urgently. "I didn't invite you here to label you." In that instant, she saw the flicker of understanding in his eyes. He wasn't embarrassed of her, he was embarrassed by their friends. The thought soothed her heart, but reality was dragging her back. "Henry," she pressed, her tone firmer now. "I need you to know, I've been a single mom for years. I work hard every day to provide for Emily. I want her to know that she can have dreams, too." Henry's gaze softened, and for a moment, he stood as a shield against the judgment swirling around them. "I respect that," he said, his voice steady. "I understand what it means to fight for something real. But Mrs. Thompson wasn't done. You really think he's interested in someone like you?" She chimed, smirking. "Get real." Lisa felt the blood drain from her face. Was this what it was to stand up? To be shattered and vindicated all at once? "Mrs. Thompson, you have no idea what I'm capable of," Lisa shot back, surprising herself with the fierceness in her voice. The drama in the diner shifted as others started murmuring. "Maybe it's time we dropped the labels," Henry said, standing taller now, as if buoyed by Lisa's words. "Real connections aren't built on status, they're built on understanding and respect." Lisa caught a glimpse of Emily, who was watching the whole scene with wide eyes. She felt a wave of determination crash over her. She didn't want to hide in the shadows any longer. "Henry," she said, softer now, "I appreciate your kindness, but I need more than words. Can you promise that this whatever this is rooted in honesty?" "Absolutely," he replied, sincerity shining in his eyes. There was a flicker of hope. Was it enough? Could this really be the start of something new for them both? But the unease churned within her. What if she had misread him? What if this moment was just a fleeting spark? The chatter resumed, and Lisa felt the weight of expectation growing heavier. Surely, there were others waiting to see how this would resolve, how she would fit into Henry's world. Before she had a chance to answer him fully, a new voice pierced through the crowd, calling her name. "Lisa." It was Janet, her friend from the community center, who squeezed through the throng, her face flushed with urgency. Lisa's insides twisted with concern. What could Janet want now? The diner felt infinitely smaller as the focus shifted from her and Henry. "Are you okay? I heard what happened." Janet's eyes darted from Henry to Lisa, filled with worry. In that moment, as she faced the warmth of an ally, Lisa felt the old battlefield she had come from clashing with the uncertain promise Henry brought. She was on a precipice, and now, the ground beneath her wavered. Janet's presence sparked a question and need for clarity. "What do you think, Lisa? Is this your chance?" The thought echoed in her mind. As she stood between two worlds, one foot in the familiar struggles of her past and one stepping into an uncertain future, she realized that this was just the beginning of her story. Would she have the courage to leap into the unknown, to fight for her place, not just for herself, but for Emily too? And would Henry stand beside her when the dust settled? These questions hung in the air, tantalizing and terrifying. The answers awaited, just out of reach. Janet's eyes were a blend of concern and encouragement as she stood with a hand on her hip, shifting the weight of the world off Lisa's shoulders, if only for a moment. The diner, now a less intimidating arena, felt like a place where support could flourish. "Seriously, are you okay?" Janet pressed, her voice low but urgent. Lisa took a breath, trying to steady the swirl of emotions inside her. The echoes of hurtful comments and the weight of judgment were still fresh, but the warmth of Janet's presence felt like a necessary balm. Yet the room was still buzzing with whispers, and Lisa realized she needed clarity to push through this haze. "I'll be okay," Lisa replied, her voice gaining strength. I don't know if I completely belong here." Janet's expression softened. "You belong, Lisa. You do. It takes guts to stand up like that. But if you give in to the doubt, their voices will drown you." Henry stood quietly, watching the interaction. There was a strange blend of admiration and tension in the air. Lisa could feel his gaze on her, urging her to break the barrier that had been built around her heart. Maybe this isn't about belonging, Lisa said, the words tumbling out as an epiphany took hold. Maybe it's about accepting myself first. Henry gave her an approving nod, but her mind raced with implications. Accepting herself meant making choices, brave ones. It wasn't just about whether he would stand beside her, it was about whether she could stand for herself, with all of her complexities and imperfections. What's your plan, Lisa? Janet asked, her voice rising slightly above the now silent diner. The patrons were listening intently, as if they saw a story unfolding that was too compelling to ignore. I guess. Lisa hesitated, her heart hammering. I guess I figure out what I want. Independently. If I want Henry in the picture, he needs to know what he's getting into, and I need to know it myself. Just then, the diner doors swung open, and an unexpected gust of wind swept through. The cold air mingled with a tension that electrified the room. Honestly, it's refreshing to see someone who stands their ground, a voice interrupted. It was one of Henry's friends, Jake, a tall guy with tousled hair. More people should stand up for what's right instead of just trying to fit in. Lisa's lips curled into a small, thankful smile, feeling a little of the weight lift. Yet deep inside, she felt a swell of anxiety. Was this moment just a wave, a fleeting high? What if the reality awaited on the other side was far more daunting? As the murmurs began to fade and the diners resumed their meals, Lisa returned her attention to Henry. Are you still with me? She asked, her voice both hopeful and fragile. Always, he replied, his sincerity wrapping around her like a warm embrace. But doubt flickered in her mind. She had seen the way others treated her, and it hadn't vanished overnight. Then show me this world you're a part of, she challenged gently but firmly. Let us see if we can navigate it together. The corners of Henry's lips turned up slightly, a tender grin breaking the tension. I'd like nothing more. Just promise me one thing. What's that? Lisa asked, her heart fluttering with an odd mix of excitement and trepidation. Promise you'll keep being yourself. No matter what, he urged. Just as she was about to respond, a loud crash erupted from the kitchen, breaking the moment and sending a ripple of surprise through the diner. All eyes turned toward the commotion, and Lisa felt a shiver run down her spine. Something had shifted in the atmosphere, and she couldn't help but wonder if this would bring the elevation she craved or another disaster pushing her back into the shadows. She took a step closer to Henry, and their hands brushed, sending a spark through her core. Maybe, just maybe, the unfolding chaos could serve as a catalyst for some deep revelations. As Lisa followed the wave of chattering heads toward the kitchen, she felt her heartbeat quicken. What discovery awaited her now, and would it pull her deeper into Henry's world or finally set her free from the chains of judgment? The clatter of dishes and the overlapping voices melted into a disconnected symphony, with Lisa's heart thrumming louder than all of it. She could feel the eyes of the diner on her, each pair filled with curiosity and something she couldn't quite identify. Was it hope for her? Or was it just the same judgment that had followed her for too long? As she approached the swinging kitchen door, the air shifted around her. The commotion inside heightened her senses. She instinctively grabbed Henry's hand, grounding herself in the moment. The warmth of his skin seeped into her, breathing life into the fading embers of her confidence. What happened? Janet asked from behind them, practically bouncing on the balls of her feet. Henry shrugged, glancing back at the door as more loud crashes echoed. Probably just a kitchen mishap. Let's check it out. Lisa nodded, her heart racing with every step. The thought of what lay beyond both excited and terrified her. The unknown had always held her captive, but now, with Henry by her side, it felt like something more than just chaos awaited. As they stepped through the door, the steam and noise engulfed them. The kitchen was a whirlwind of movement. Cooks scrambled to clean up a shattered stack of plates while others shouted orders, their faces flushed with both determination and frustration. There you are. Help us. A voice yelled, breaking through the madness. It was Jake again, standing amidst the chaos with a pan in hand. "Did you do this?" Henry teased lightly, but Jake just rolled his eyes. "Not this time, man. I think someone forgot to secure the shelving." The tension in the air shifted to amusement as Lisa caught Henry's smile out of the corner of her eye. It was a fleeting moment, but it lit something inside her, a realization that even in chaos, community blossomed. Then, she saw a figure on the floor, struggling to collect the shattered pieces, and her heart dropped. It was a young woman, probably around her age, hands trembling as she tried to piece together her broken mistakes. "Hey!" Lisa called out, stepping forward, instinct taking over. "Let me help." The woman looked up, surprised but relieved, and together they gathered the fragments, creating a strange little tapestry from the wreckage. "I'm so sorry," the woman whispered, shame lacing her words. "I'm new here, and I just—" "Everyone else knew at something," Lisa replied, a warmth unfolding in her chest. "You can't be too hard on yourself." As they worked, Lisa could feel the pride of her own journey swelling inside her. It was as if cleaning up this mess also meant cleaning up parts of herself. Each grimy piece she lifted felt like a small victory. She wasn't just the quiet girl who faded into the background anymore, she was stepping into the spotlight. Finally, one of the cooks called a halt to the chaos. "Okay, everyone, we need to reset." Jake disrupted the seriousness with a theatrical voice. "And we bow to our brave helpers. Lisa and our new friend here." He motioned dramatically, and Lisa couldn't help but laugh as everyone turned to smile at her, their gratitude palpable. But as Lisa straightened, the lightness of the moment faded. She caught a glimpse of the diner patrons looking back at her, not with judgment this time, but something like admiration. Yet she felt the familiar tug of insecurity pull at her heart. What next? She whispered to herself, as Henry's presence felt like an anchor beside her. "We keep pushing forward," he said softly, squeezing her hand again, grounding her in their small shared world. Together. But her mind raced. What awaited her beyond this moment of triumph? Did she still have the power to accept herself, even here in this chaotic scene, where her past loomed large? And just as she turned to face Henry, searching for clarity in his eyes, the kitchen door swung open again, revealing a figure she hadn't expected to see, a reminder of everything she thought she'd left behind. "Lisa." The voice called through the steam and chaos, and her heart dropped. What would happen next? Would the past pull her back, or was this the moment she truly stepped forward? Lisa's breath caught in her throat as she turned to see the figure standing at the door. It was Claire, her high school best friend, and the one person she had never expected to see again. Claire's smile was bright, but there was hesitation behind it. The room's bustling energy around them seemed to fade away, creating a bubble where only they existed. "Lisa. Wow, it's really you." Claire's voice rang out, but Lisa noticed the slight tremor in her tone, as if she were testing the waters before diving in. "Claire," Lisa managed, her voice barely above a whisper. In that moment, the feelings of their shared past flooded back, the joyful laughter, the secrets they'd sworn to keep, the bitter fallout that had split them apart. There was so much unsaid between them, a chasm of miscommunication and hurt that seemed insurmountable. Henry stepped slightly behind her, sensing the rupture in the moment. "You know each other?" he asked, his voice a mix of confusion and curiosity. For a second, Lisa didn't answer, feeling the eyes of the kitchen on her again, this time, a mixture of genuine interest and concern. She felt small. Would she seem weak in front of Henry if she let her emotions spill over? But Claire's presence ignited something deep within her, a reminder of who she once was and who she could still be. "Yeah, we go way back," Lisa finally said, keeping her gaze on Claire, whose eyes shimmered with a hint of nostalgia. "Listen," Claire started, taking a step forward, breaking the invisible barrier between them. "I didn't know you were here. I saw you through the window and couldn't believe it. The mixture of joy and uncertainty hanging in Claire's tone struck Lisa's heart. In that fleeting moment, she could almost remember how their friendship had illuminated her life, how they once were unstoppable. But that brightness had dimmed after the fallout, and she wondered if Claire had come to reignite the flame or to relive the memories of what had gone wrong. "What are you doing here?" Lisa asked, cautiously approaching the moment, feeling the weight of her words. The multitude of unanswered questions sat between them, thick and heavy. "I've been working in the area," Claire shrugged, a hint of defensiveness creeping into her voice. "I came here for lunch on my break." "I didn't mean to interrupt." "Interrupt?" Jake piped in, always one for dramatic flair. "This is the best interruption we've had all day." A few chuckles erupted, easing the tension slightly. But as Lisa glanced around, all she could think of was the moment they had lost her friendships, the laughter, the tears. What did it mean that Claire was here now? "Can we talk?" Claire asked gently, her eyes earnest, almost vulnerable. Lisa glanced at Henry, whose reassuring presence filled her with more confidence. "Yeah, I'd like that." As they stepped away from the crowd, Lisa's heart raced. This confrontation felt monumental, like a reckoning long overdue. Could they really bridge the gap that time and silence had created? Claire started to speak, her lips moving but no words came out. The emotions were overwhelming, the air thick with unsaid apologies and hope. "Look, Claire began again, her voice trembling slightly. Just then, the kitchen roared back to life around them. A pot boiled over, sending a few of the cooks into a flurry to contain it, and laughter erupted at the chaos. But Lisa stayed focused on her friend's face. There was raw vulnerability there, a glimmer of how much this moment meant to both of them. "Can we do this now?" Claire asked, a nervous laugh escaping, but her eyes spoke of something much deeper. I don't want to keep pretending." Lisa nodded, feeling that at least for this moment, the world outside didn't matter. They had a lot to unpack, and Lisa needed to know if Claire was back in her life. What did that mean for the journey she had just begun? But before she could find the words to say it, another unexpected interruption broke the air around them, shaping the next direction of their conversation. The kitchen door swung open again, and a well-dressed stranger stepped in, looking completely out of place. "Excuse me, but I need to find Lisa," he announced, searching the crowd. And Lisa's heart raced once more, wondering who this new person could be and what it meant for her newfound strength. Could she be ready for whatever came next? The man scanned the room, his gaze landing on Lisa like a spotlight cutting through the murmurs of the kitchen. There was a sense of urgency in his posture, a subtle tension that rippled through the air. "Excuse me?" Lisa's voice trembled, unable to hide the confusion laced with a pinch of anxiety. She took a half-step closer to Claire, grounding herself in their shared history. But the weight of Claire's warm smile seemed insufficient in the presence of this stranger. "Lisa Jacobs?" He pressed, his voice firm but also tinged with hesitance. "Yes, that's me," she replied, emotions swirling inside her. She was both intrigued and alarmed, her heart pounding in her chest. The kitchen buzzed around them, but their bubble felt about to burst. "My name is Mark Ellison," he said, extending a hand towards her. "I'm here on behalf of your mother." At the mention of her mother, the laughter and bustling noises of the kitchen faded into a haunting memory. Lisa's stomach knotted. "My mother?" she echoed, trying to grasp the reality of his words. "What do you mean?" Claire's expression changed, the brightness dimmed as concern flickered in her eyes. "Lisa, what is going on?" she whispered, almost protectively. Mark shifted uncomfortably, sensing the tension. "There's been a situation," he said carefully, choosing his words with precision. "I was informed about some recent events involving her health." Just like that, the room turned upside down for Lisa. She felt the air thicken, her breath catching in her throat. "My mother's health? Why didn't anyone call me?" Panic crawled up her spine. She hadn't spoken to her mother in months, and now this stranger was shoving reality into her face. She didn't want to worry you, Mark said gently, yet firmly. She asked for me to come and find you. It's important, Lisa. Please. Claire instinctively reached for Lisa's arm, squeezing it lightly as if to offer reassurance. You don't have to do this alone, she said softly, her loyalty pouring from her eyes. Lisa needed that support, yet the panic continued to churn. Just let me talk to her, Mark urged, his brow furrowing. I promise it's serious, but not as awful as it might sound. I just need you to listen. Lisa exchanged a glance with Henry, who had stepped closer as the tension rose. Can you give us a moment? He asked Mark, his voice steady yet commanding. This isn't something she should jump into without understanding your connection. Mark nodded, stepping aside but not out of earshot. Lisa felt the weight of their lives shifting, the gravity of her mother's health pressing down on her. She turned to Claire, who was still looking at her with those familiar eyes, the ones that had seen her through countless storms. Do you think I should go? Lisa asked, her voice just above a whisper. You can't ignore this, Claire replied, the warmth of their shared past wrapping around them again. But whatever happens next, we'll figure it out together. Taking a deep breath, Lisa pushed down the rising panic. She would not let fear dictate her next move. But the swirling uncertainty made her heart race. What if her mother was truly in trouble? What was it that she hadn't been told? Okay, Lisa finally said, confidence stealing her posture. I'll talk to him. But I need you here. I can't do this alone. With fierce determination, she stepped towards Mark, nerves tangled in her stomach but her resolve unwavering. She needed to understand. As she approached, Mark's expression softened. Thank you, Lisa. I promise I'll explain everything as clearly as I can. Just before they could dive into the depth of the conversation awaiting her, another figure emerged from the kitchen, one that made Lisa's breath hitch again. A familiar face, one she hadn't seen in years, appeared in the doorway. Lisa. It was her mother. And suddenly everything felt like it was about to change forever. Would this be the moment of reconnection, or the start of an even deeper uncertainty? Lisa stood frozen as the years vanished, and the woman she had once called Mom stood before her, looking both vibrant and fragile. Every inch of her felt the electric charge of unresolved love, nostalgia, and a dash of resentment. How could everything change in one breath? Mom. Lisa whispered, the name tasting strange on her tongue. It was meant to convey so much support, love, history, but it now felt weighted with distance. Her mother's eyes widened, almost gleaming. Lisa. I'm so glad to see you. The warmth in her voice contrasted sharply with the tension hanging over them. She stepped forward, arms opening wide like an invitation, but Lisa hesitated. Would this embrace offer the comfort she so desperately craved or just remind her of the chasm that had grown between them? Mark, watching with an observant eye, took a half step back, sensing the emotional whirlwind. Claire tightened her grip on Lisa's arm, a silent plea for her to let go of the past. Mom, Lisa echoed, fluctuating between wanting to run into her mother's arms and wanting to confront her about their years apart. You didn't tell me anything. What is going on? Why is he here? Her mother flinched at her daughter's tone but recovered quickly. I didn't want to worry you, she said softly, emphasizing the words as if they were enough to bridge the gap between them. Lisa fought the urge to cry. I'm an adult, Mom. I can handle things. But you cut me out. This. She gestured towards Mark, this is how I find out what is happening. I never meant to hurt you. Her mother's voice trembled, and there was a flicker of shame in her eyes. Lisa's heart twisted, torn between disappointment and understanding. For a moment, time suspended itself. The muffled sounds of the kitchen faded, the laughter and chatter rendered distant, like static. The world around them blurred, and all that remained was the fragile connection they once had and had painfully stretched thin. Can we just talk? Lisa finally said, softening just a bit when she registered the regret in her mother's gaze. Please, come sit with me. Claire let go of Lisa's arm, sensing the shift, and moved to stand beside Henry. They watched with cautious optimism, but Lisa's mind spun with questions. Would she hear words that healed or cut deeper? As her mother moved closer, doubt lingered in Lisa's mind. Mark remained a near silhouette behind them, the still figure of a man caught between a reunion and an uncharted path. She turned to him briefly, silently asking for clarity about the situation he had hinted at. But the look on his face suggested he, too, was bracing for an impending storm. Her mother settled into a chair at the small table, looking older, wearier. I know I've made mistakes, Lisa, she began, her voice barely above a whisper, and I know I can't erase the past. But before another word could be spoken, her mother's expression shifted. Something was wrong. Mark's gaze became serious, and the warmth in the room was extinguished by a sudden chill of foreboding. Wait, what is it? Lisa asked, feeling a knot form in her stomach. It's about your mother's health, Mark interjected, his tone now urgent. She should have told you sooner, but the moment hung heavy, and Lisa's heart raced again. This was only the beginning. What other secrets lay hidden beneath the surface, waiting to be uncovered? As she peered into her mother's worried eyes, Lisa braced herself for revelations that could alter everything she thought she knew. What could possibly unfold from this moment, and would it bring them closer or tear them further apart? The silence was deafening. Lisa's heart thudded in her chest, each beat echoing the weight of uncertainty. She studied her mother's face, searching for answers but only finding shadows. It felt as if their years apart had condensed into that single moment, vibrating with unvoiced fears and unshed tears. Mom, what's wrong with you? The question slipped out before she could stop it, sharp and cutting. She clenched her fists, the desperation evident in her tone. Her mother's shoulders slumped slightly, the vibrant brightness Lisa remembered wavering like a candle in the wind. I've been diagnosed with something, Lisa. I didn't want to burden you until I knew more. There was a tremor in her voice, each word relaying the heaviness of an unshackled truth. Diagnosed with what? Lisa asked, fighting back a swell of emotions. This wasn't what she had expected. The air crackled with tension as she prepared herself for whatever came next. Her mother inhaled deeply, her lips pressed together, a veil of hesitation covering her eyes. It's serious. I have early-stage cancer. The words hung in the air like an insatiable storm cloud, ready to unleash torrents. Lisa's breath caught, and her pulse quickened. The room spun around her, colors fading into a numbing gray. This wasn't just a secret, this was a twist in their narrative that she had never anticipated. Why didn't you tell me? The anger, raw and instinctive, bubbled forth. You let me drift away while you were dealing with this. I thought I could handle it on my own, her mother said, her voice so soft it felt almost fragile, as if speaking too loudly would shatter the delicate moment. I didn't want to worry you or make you feel obligated. Rage and sorrow collided inside Lisa. Obligated? Mom, you're my mom. I want to be there for you. I thought we were moving forward. Now I find out you've been fighting this by yourself. Tears gathered in her mother's eyes, sparkling like glass, ready to break. Lisa, please. I didn't want to change anything between us. I thought keeping this from you would protect you. Protect me? The irony made her laugh bitterly. She was struck by the absurdity of it all. You think not telling me would save me from heartbreak? You've only pushed me further away. Mark shifted behind them, a quiet witness to the unfolding emotional battle. Claire's eyes darted between Lisa and her mother, sensing the tension reaching a boiling point. Mom, the plea drowned in a rush of emotion, Lisa softened. I'm scared. I want to help you. But you have to let me in. Her mother's gaze faltered, capturing a flicker of hope in Lisa's yearning voice. I know, sweetheart. I'm so sorry. I'm scared, too. It feels like my whole world is crashing down, and I didn't want to drag you into the rubble. The chasm between them seemed to shrink, the air thick with the possibility of understanding, yet it felt fragile, like glass that might shatter at any moment. Lisa took a step closer, the distance still present but bridging slowly. Mom, we can face this together. You're not alone, not anymore. A tear escaped her mother's eye, cascading down her cheek. Thank you for saying that. But beneath her mother's fragile smile, Lisa sensed more looming secrets, more challenges ahead. What might this battle entail? Would they emerge stronger, or would the lingering echoes of the past haunt their steps? And as they both sat steeped in uncertainty and fragile hope, the door swung open again, the kind of door that swings widely, ready to unleash unexpected confrontations. Little did they know that old conflicts weren't finished yet, and truths hidden deeper than cancer were waiting to unravel and reshape their lives once more. What else lay buried just beneath the surface, waiting to be unearthed? The kitchen felt like both a sanctuary and a battlefield. Lisa stood at the edge of her mother's vulnerability, her heart quaking with raw emotions. In that small space filled with warmth and aromas, the shadows of their past danced around them, blending joy, pain, and longing in a dizzying portrait of family love. Mom, we need to talk about everything, Lisa said, her voice steadying among the tremors of fear. Not just this. Her mother's eyes brimmed with tears again, but her chin lifted. I'm ready. Whatever it is, I'm ready. Could it be? The thought of tearing down the walls that had taken years to build felt both thrilling and terrifying. Lisa recalled days spent chasing laughter, sweet summer afternoons painting farmers' markets, moments she had longed to reclaim. The fight they were about to face could either scar them further or lead them to a fresher start. Let us start with why we grew apart, Lisa said, her heart racing at the audacity of her own words. Why didn't you ever reach out? Why let it build up to this? Her mother sighed deeply, as if the exhaustion of years had finally caught up. I thought leaving you out of my struggles would make you stronger. I didn't realize strength comes from facing things together. Mom, you have to know strength isn't just about fighting battles alone. It's about letting people in, Lisa urged, her voice hushed but passionate. I've tried to carry the weight of my world without you. I need to know you're with me in this life. We both do. As her mother absorbed the words, a shift began to ripple through the air. Lisa could see the light come back into her mother's eyes, it was a flicker of awareness, of recognition. The truth was raw, heavy, but it uncloaked something that had long rested beneath years of unspoken tension. I'm sorry, Lisa. I thought you were better off without these worries, her mother confessed, voice trembling as if every word carried the weight of 1,000 secrets. But I see now I was wrong. We should always move forward together, no more distancing ourselves. Their gazes locked, a shimmering bond knitting tighter between them. A shared resolve blossomed, maybe they could navigate this tumultuous sea together after all. But as the moment hung there, stark and fragile, Mark coughed gently from where he stood. I've got some information you need to hear, Lisa, he said, stepping closer. And perhaps being together is the first step in understanding your mother's situation. What do you mean? Lisa asked, apprehension creeping back. It's not just about your mother's diagnosis. I'm here because there may be options, treatments. But she needs to hear it, understand what's possible. Mark's demeanor shifted to serious. Options? Lisa's heart thudded. You mean there's hope? Yes, but we need to tackle this head-on, as a family. It's essential. Mark's voice brought back that sense of urgency, echoing the importance of this moment. Lisa turned to her mother, trying to gauge her reaction. Her mother looked hesitant but resolute, ready to embrace whatever the future might hold. Are you ready? Lisa asked, the weight of the future resting heavily on her shoulders. I have to be. For you, for us, her mother replied, a confident strength emerging. Together, we'll figure this out. Lisa felt a rush of solidarity that banished the lingering insecurities. As their bond strengthened, a familiar voice broke into the moment. It was Claire, stepping forth. "I don't know how much I can help, but I'm here for whatever you need. We can rally." The realization washed over Lisa. A community was born in these connections. Mark nodded, affirming Claire, "Together is the way forward." The extinguished embers of her fears sparked to life, igniting a newfound hope nestled in the fabric of their intertwined lives. Just then, laughter broke from the kitchen, breaking the tension. A few cooks exchanged jovial banter, unintentionally reminding her of the magic of camaraderie that extended beyond these walls. As Lisa embraced the scene cascading around them, her mother's warmth beside her, Claire's comforting presence, and the steadfast commitment from Henry, she realized they all had the power to redefine their journey together. "Let us do this," Lisa declared, a fierce glimmer lighting her eyes. "We fight. For you, Mom. For our family. For everything we love." In unison, they nodded, a collective heartbeat thrumming in agreement, a promise crafted from love and courage, an affirmation no one could take away. The road ahead would be nothing short of a wild adventure, woven with unexpected twists, enlightening surprises, and the unending support of family. Each challenge they would face would strengthen their bond, redefine their narratives, and perhaps, just perhaps, lead them to the healing they all sought. As they stepped into the future, hands held tightly, Lisa's heart swelled with a sense of transformation. And now, more than ever, she understood, the most beautiful journeys often start from the most unanticipated moments. So, what lies ahead? A story of love, fight, and unparalleled hope now awaited them, a new beginning blossoming from the ashes of what once was. This was only the beginning. If you felt this journey alongside us, you need to subscribe now to catch the next adventure, because it's just getting started. Leave a like now if this story moved you. Let us feed the algorithm so our community grows. Comment below with your thoughts about this emotional journey and share how it resonated with you. And don't wait not even one more second to share this video with at least 5 friends who need to witness this transformation. Real change happens when we lift each other up.